Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, I have 6:59.
Miss Boyle. Miss Boyle, you're on mute.
Hello, board members. I understand that you are not able to unmute yourselves. I will reach out to technology. I do not believe that I am the host. So if you give me one moment.
They just made you co-host.
I heard you, Miss Peterson. Is everybody else now unmuted?
You're now co-host.
I don't see where I can unmute everybody.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, Miss Peters, Miss Pitts.
Okay, I just had a little sign that said I could unmute myself.
So are you now able to unmute yourselves?
Everyone is, yes.
Yes.
It's a
But
great
that's
day in
great.
Winslow.
Do it. Yep, we're good now.
Okay.
We were
So
good.
it is 7:02. We will start the meeting. Public notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates in a notice dated August 27th, 2021. Adequate and electronic notice of this public meeting has been provided, specifying the time, place, and manner in which the meeting is being conducted. It was advertised in the Courier Post, posted in all schools, the administration office, the municipal building, the library, Bud Dubel Center, Edgewood Acres, Elmtown, and the Winslow Township post offices. The mission statement. The mission of the Winslow Township School District, a large, diverse, and growing community, is to educate all students to become independent, lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and caring and confident members of their community. The district, in partnership with the community and in a climate of cooperation and mutual respect, will provide an academic environment which values the excellence and diversity, encourages students to strive for personal excellence, and assists them in acquiring the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to contribute positively to a rapidly changing world. Dr. Poteet?
Yes, would everyone please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
Thank you. The pledge, the election results. Members of the local Board of Education who were elected for a three-year term, Ms. Rebecca Nueves with 5,618 votes, Ms. Cheryl Pitts with 5,572 votes, and Ms. Kelly Thomas with 5,526 votes. We're now going to ask Mr. Howard Long to administer the installation of board members by the administrating minute of their oaths.
Thank you, Madam Board Secretary. Ms. Nieves, are you present?
Yes, Mr. Long.
Ms. Nieves, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Did you want to have, do you have anyone standing in with you that wants to get in this picture? I mean, this is a pretty special moment.
Yes, I do. Actually, I have my two daughters here.
Wonderful. You can turn your sound up a little bit. We're just having a little bit of trouble. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you. Would you like to introduce your daughters?
Well, this is my daughter Gianna, and this is my daughter Leanna.
It's very lovely. Thank you for the privilege of swearing you in. I did forward an oath earlier, so we'll follow that particular script. If you would raise your right hand, please. See, you got your Bible there, left hand on the Bible. That's perfect. Right hand in the air. Please repeat after me, ma'am. I state your full name.
I, Rebecca Nieves,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of the Winslow Township Board of Education,
for the office of
member of the Winslow Township Board of Education,
member of the Winslow Township Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified
and that I am not disqualified
as a voter
as a voter
pursuant to state law,
pursuant to state law,
nor am I disqualified
nor am I disqualified
due to conviction of a crime or offense
due to a conviction of a crime or an offense
set forth in state statutes,
set forth in state statutes,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of that office according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, girls.
Mr. Long, Ms. Cheryl Pitts.
Ms. Pitts, you with us? I don't see you on my screen, but I think if you speak, I will.
I'm here, Mr. Long,
I
With
see.
my-
Ms. Pitts.
with my Bible.
That's great. Do you have anyone with you?
No, no one's, they're not allowed to be here with me. They make too much
No St.
noise.
James tonight?
They make, no, they make too much noise.
If you would put your left hand on your Bible, please, and raise your right hand and kindly repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Cheryl Pitts,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
under the United States
under the United States
and this state,
and this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of the Winslow Township Board of Education,
for the office of member of the Winslow Township Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to state law,
pursuant to state law,
nor am I disqualified due to conviction of a crime
nor am I disqualified due to a conviction of a crime
or offense
or offense
set forth in state statutes,
set forth in state statutes,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of that office
of that office
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Mrs. Pitts.
Thank you, Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mr. Long. And now Ms. Kelly Thomas.
Thank you. Ms. Thomas, this is a lot easier than the last time we tried this,
Right.
if you will recall. Ma'am, if you would just repeat after me.
Yes,
Do you happen to have a Bible with you?
I do.
Great. Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand.
Yes.
I state your full name.
I, Kelly Elizabeth Thomas,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Oops.
Did we lose Ms. Thomas?
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Great. That I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member
for the office of member
of the Winslow Township Board of Education,
of the Winslow Township Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
and that I'm not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to state law,
pursuant to state law,
nor am I disqualified due to a conviction of a crime or offense
nor am I disqualified due to a conviction of a crime or offense
set forth in state statutes,
set forth in state statutes,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of that office according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So now I'll proceed with the roll call. Mr. Blake.
Present.
Thank you. Ms. Dredden.
Here.
Ms. Martin.
Present.
Ms. Moore.
Present.
Ms. Nuevas.
Present.
Ms. Peterson.
Present.
Ms. Pitts.
Present.
Mr. Shaw.
Present.
Ms. Thomas.
Present.
We have a quorum. Now I'd like to open the floor for nominations for board president. Is there a
I'd like to make
nomination?
a nomination for Cheryl Pitts for president.
I'd like to second that motion.
It was moved by Ms. Martin and seconded by Mr. Shaw. Are there any other nominations for board president?
Yes. I nominate Julie Peterson.
I
That was-
decline. I decline. Thank you.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'd like a motion to close nominations for board president.
Motion to close nominations for board
Second,
president.
Shaw.
That was Ms. Martin
Yes.
and
And
Mr.
seconded
Shaw.
by Mr. Shaw.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call? Mr. Blake? This is
Yes.
just to close the nominations.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nuevas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Ms. Pitts?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
And Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like a motion to elect Ms. Cheryl Pitts as president of the Winslow Township Board of Education.
Motion to elect Ms. Cheryl Pitts as President of Winslow Township Board of Education.
Second.
Second.
I had it first, motion by Mr. Shaw, seconded by
Peterson.
Ms. Peterson. Roll call, Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden, Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Nuevas,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Ms. Thomas.
Yes.
The motion has carried, and the board meeting will be turned over to Ms. Pitts as board president.
Thank you, Ms. Buell, and thank you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times to board members for thinking enough of me to allow me to guide and direct you for the next year. Thank you very, very much. At this time, I would like to open the floor up for nominations for vice president.
I make a motion to nominate Julie Peterson for vice president.
Mr. Dredden has nominated Ms. Peterson for vice president. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Dredden, second by Ms. Kelly to nominate Ms. Peterson as vice president. Would there be any other nominations for this office?
I'd like to nominate Mr. John Shaw for Vice President.
Nomination for Mr. John Shaw as vice president. Is there a second?
Second, Blake.
Nominated by Mr. Shaw as vice president by Ms. Moore and second by Mr. Blake. Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the office of vice president? Thank you. Hearing none, we have now closed the nominations for the office of vice president. At this point, we will go to voting.
Madam President, there is a motion to close the nominations.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Is there a motion to close the nominations?
Motion to close the nominations. Ms. Martin.
Is there a second?
Blake, second.
Motion to close the nomination by Ms. Martin, and second, I believe that was Mr. Blake.
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Well, Dredden, well, Mr. Blake, okay. Thank you. So the motion for nomination of Ms. Peterson as vice president has been closed.
We'll do a roll call, Mr. Blake. This
This
is
is
a roll
just-
call to
this is just to
close
close the
nominations for
nominations.
vice president.
Boyle, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Nuevas,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Ms. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
The nomination.
If I may, Ms.
Yes.
Pitts, if I- Considering the fact that we have two nominations for vice president, it would be appropriate after a motion, and a second is made to move a nomination forward, that the roll call be responded to by either saying Peterson or Shaw. And whoever carries the majority of that will prevail. If that's acceptable, I found that's the simplest way to go about it when there's two names nominated.
Thank you, Mr. Long. That just really makes sense and makes it more convenient for us.
It does.
So does anyone have any questions with regards to what Mr. Long has just indicated to us? If not, we will proceed in that fashion.
We need
So,
a second to nominate and elect either Ms. Peterson or Mr. Shaw as vice president by repeating their name when your name is called. Need that motion in second.
is there a motion for the statement that Mr. Long has put before us?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Martin,
Second, Dredden.
second by Ms. Dredden. It's been moved by Ms. Martin and second by Ms. Dredden that we proceed as indicated by Mr. Long. Roll call, please, Ms. Boyle.
Mr. Blake,
Okay, I'm confused. So I'm saying yes to this or I'm voting?
No, you're voting.
Voting.
Like you're either going to say Shaw or Peterson at this point.
Got it. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Blake.
Ms. Dredden,
Peterson.
Ms. Martin,
Peterson.
Ms. Moore,
Shaw,
Ms. Nuevas,
Shaw.
Ms. Peterson,
Peterson,
Ms. Pitts,
Peterson,
Mr. Shaw,
Three choices, Mr. Shaw: Peterson, Shaw, or abstain.
I'm going to abstain.
Ms. Thomas.
Peterson.
We have a vote 5 for Ms. Peterson and 3 for Mr. Shaw and 1 abstention. So, Ms. Peterson.
Correct.
Ms. Peterson,
thank you everyone for your vote of support. And I'm willing to make certain that our district moves forward as a premier learning institution that it is.
thank you.
Congratulations, Ms. Peterson. Congratulations, Ms. Pitt.
Thank you, Mr. Blake.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Ms. Peterson and Ms.
Thank you.
Pitts.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Ms. Peterson, Ms. Pitts.
At this point, we're going to move forward. We are now on page 3. At this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve letter A and
We have Ms. Boyle, Mrs. Pitts.
Ms.
I'm sure-
Boyle.
We
Yes.
have them under top of 3 on C. My agenda has the appointment of Ms. Boyle as board secretary.
I'm sorry, Ms. Boyle, I skipped over that. I'm sorry.
She probably
very sorry.
planned it that way, Ms.
All
Pitts.
Freudian, Ms. Pitts.
All Freudian. Certainly of the head and not the heart. At this point, board members, I'm asking for a motion to approve the appointment of Ms. Tara McCoy Boyle as our board secretary for the Board of Education. Is there a motion?
Peterson moved for approval to appoint Ms. Boyle as board secretary and board business administrator.
second,
Second,
Moved by Ms. Peterson and second by
Moore,
Ms. Moore. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
yes,
Ms. Nuevas,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Ms. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ms. Boyle.
Congratulations. Ms.
Congratulations, Ms. Boyle.
Thank you.
Don't look so happy, Miss Boyle.
I know it's not easy, but we appreciate what you do, Ms. Boyle.
Yes, we
Thank
do.
you, Ms. Pitts. Thank you, board.
Moving now, board members, we're still on page 3. I'm at number 9, under business and operations. I'm asking for a motion to approve letter A under number 9, which covers approving the conduct of the board meetings according to parliamentary authority established by Robert's Rules of Order. And number 2, standing subcommittees as listed. And letter B, the schedule of 2022 Board of Education meetings from January 2022 through August 2022. And letter C, Board Member Code of Ethics, approve the adoption of the Code of Ethics governing board behavior.
Motion Shaw.
Moved by Mr. Shaw,
Second Peterson.
second by Ms. Peterson. It has been moved and second that we accept the parliamentary authority, our standing subcommittees, and the schedule going forward, January 22 through August 22. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Madam President, I had a question.
Yes,
For the location. So next week, or the 12th meeting is virtual, right?
that is yet to be determined because it depends on the board, how the board feels, because at that point, the students will still be on remote. And so that absolutely is something that we can discuss and make a decision on that. But right now, we just simply want to get an approval of the dates, Mr.
Okay,
Blake.
because I saw a location, so I just wanted to clarify.
Because now, again, we can, that is a good question, and we can discuss that. And this, if we make that decision, this can for that time, it can always be changed.
Okay.
Certainly with appropriate public notification. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So can we proceed with the vote on this A, B, and C?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Nuevas,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson, Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Ms. Thomas.
Yes.
The motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. At this time, I'm on number 10, bottom of page 4, appointment of delegates and board committees by the board president. Board members, I will go through and read the various committees and delegates and the adopted school representative, and then we will take a vote on whether or not you agree with that or not. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Moving forward, letter A, New Jersey School Board Association representative will be myself, Cheryl Pitts. Camden County School Board's representative will be Ms. Julie Peterson. The New Jersey Urban Boards Committee representative will be Ms. Rita Martin. The Camden County Educational Services representative will be Ms. Julie Peterson. And those who have appointed representatives, of course, you will make sure that you contact those organizations to find out exactly what the time and location of their meetings. Moving now to the committees. The Athletic Committee, the chair of the Athletic Committee will be Mr. John Shaw. The members of that committee will be Mr. Larry Blake and Ms. Cynthia Moore. Moving to the Citizens Advisory Committee, the advisor to that committee will be Ms. Rita Martin. The co-advisor will be Ms. Rebecca Nieves. I'm now on page 5. The Education Committee, the chair of that will be Ms. Julie Peterson. The members of that committee will be Ms. Rita Martin, and Ms. Kelly Thomas. Moving now to the Equity Equality Committee. The chairperson of that committee will be Ms. Kelly Thomas. The members of that committee will be Ms. Julie Peterson and myself, Cheryl Pitts. Moving now to the Marketing Committee. The chairperson of the Marketing Committee will be Mr. Larry Blake. The members of the Marketing Committee will be Ms. Cynthia Moore and myself, Cheryl Pitts. Moving now to Negotiations Committee. The chairperson of that committee will be Ms. Peterson, Ms. Julie Peterson. The members will be Ms. Lorraine Dredden and Ms. Rita Martin. Moving on to the Operations Committee. The chairperson of the Operations Committee will be Ms. Lorraine Dredden. The members of that committee will be Mr. John Shaw and Ms. Kelly Thomas. Moving now to the Policy and HR Committee. Chairperson will be myself, Cheryl Pitts. Members of that committee will be Ms. Lorraine Dredden, Ms. Rita Martin, and Ms. Rebecca Nieves. Moving further now to adopt a school representative, it is at this time, board members, that you can speak out and let me know which schools you would like to be the representative of. And of course, for the benefit of the new members, what that means simply is that you will connect with the with the principal of the schools, just to let them know that you are the liaison between them and the board. Now, school number one, board members would like to be.
Ms. Pitts, before we break into schools, is there any way that you can reconsider, because there's a committee that I really want to be on?
Okay.
I would love to be, well, either two, but I'm negotiable.
No, not negotiable. No, you have to tell me which committee.
No. Listen, what I'm saying. I love marketing. I want to stay there.
Good.
But I want to either swap me out with either education or policy.
Education or
policy. I would love to be in any of those committees.
Okay, now if you have noted, policy, we have a maximum of 4 members already.
Well, then I would love to be on education.
Okay, so therefore, education, we still have a slot open. And so therefore, you want to be on education, Mr. Blake?
I will be the 4th member.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you.
Since Mr. Blake had a request, I'd like to make one myself.
Ms. Nieves, you're going to have to speak up a little bit louder because I really can't hear you.
My apologies. I'm sorry. Well, since Mr. Blake had a request, I figured I would try my luck then.
Okay.
Since he took the last education spot, thank you, Mr. Blake. I'd like to be on marketing if I could.
Okay, let's take a look at marketing.
I would take her in open arms. We have a spot for her.
Marketing, we certainly do.
Come on in.
We do.
Thank you.
Ms.
Come on in and
Nieves?
take a seat.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Consider it done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mrs. Pitts.
Let me just repeat so I'll know what to make sure that my notes are right. So, the marketing committee chair, Mr. Blake, yes. Members will be Ms. Cynthia Moore. Oh, good, and Ms. Nieves, and myself when I'm available. Okay.
No worries. We'll take you in. Dr. Poteet, are you still doing marketing with us, or we're still with Mr. Davis?
You're muted.
Mr. Blake, we don't change mid-year. We stay the course. So
All right.
Mr. Davis is still that person.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Mrs. Pitts.
Yes, Mr. Shaw.
Who was named to the Township Liaison Committee?
We do not have, at this point, a Township Liaison Committee.
Okay.
We have an Education Committee, but we do not have, at this point, a Township Liaison Committee, specifically because the township itself also has an Education Committee. And at any time that the Township Education Committee wants to connect with the board then they connect with our education committee. So the two education committees connect, which really doesn't require a township liaison committee.
Okay,
Okay?
got it.
Okay. Before we move on, board members, any other requests? No? Are we all kind of settled in and it's okay? Yes? Okay. Now we can move on to the adopt a school representatives who would like to be the representative for school number 1.
Well, since I was school 1 last year, I could be school 1 this year.
All right, Mr. Blake. You got it. School
And I
number 2,
would like to
And-
stay with school 2.
Ms. Moore.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Moore, school number 2.
Peterson would like to stay with school 3.
Peterson would like to stay with school 3. School 4? Hello, school 4? Going once? School 4?
That was Miss McClendon's spot.
School 4?
I have a child at school 4, so if that's not an issue, but
No, it's not an issue.
Not an issue. Ms. Nieves,
okay, that's fine.
you'll be for school 4?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
If it makes you feel more comfortable, I'll switch with you.
I'm okay.
Okay, all right.
All right, moving now to school 5.
Ms. Martin?
Ms. Martin, all right, very good. School 6.
I'll stay with school 6, Mrs. Pitts.
Okay, Ms. Thomas. Middle school.
Dredden will stay with middle school.
Thank you, Ms. Dredden. And thank you, Mr. Shaw, for contacting and indicating that you will be the representative for the high school, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. So therefore, board members, I'm asking now for us to vote on the appointments of delegates and board committees as we have just filled in the spots. Is there a motion?
Peterson moved.
All second.
I'm sorry, who moved it?
Peterson.
Peterson.
Moved by Ms. Peterson, second by Mr. Shaw. Any further comments or questions before I ask for a roll call? Roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Nuevez,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Pitts,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
and Ms. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you. Moving now, board members, we're still on page 5, old business. Would there be any old business that we would need to discuss at this time?
Yes, Madam President.
Ms. Peterson?
At our board retreat in August, I believe it was August the 11th, we talked about how we could prepare for the superintendent's evaluation by having a mid-year review of where we stand on our goals and objectives and have they been achieved. So if it's possible, I would like to recommend that we continue that pathway that we suggested at our board retreat and have that review on the 4th Wednesday of February, which is February the 23rd.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Any questions on that recommendation?
Ms. Peterson, so that's going to be during executive session?
Yes.
Okay.
Any further questions? Mr. Long, just to be safe, I'm sure because that's just a recommendation, we do not have to go through the voting process?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Any other old business you would care to discuss at this time? Thank you. Moving on to new business. Any new business board members that you would care to discuss at this time? Thank you. Hearing none. Informational items? Would there be any informational items to share at this time, Dr. Potteet?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board and community, I have several information items this evening. As you know, we've been very busy over the past few days. The district is now in full remote status until Friday, January the 14th. Face-to-face instruction will resume on Tuesday, January the 18th. Just so that the board and the community have an idea of how we got there. Over 70 teachers and support staff called out sick as of Sunday night, 4 administrators, and then early Monday morning at 4 a.m. when I was making my decision for a inclement weather decision, I was told we went from 16 bus drivers to 21 bus drivers called out as of Monday night. I want to say to the community that it is our intent to open schools and keep them open. However, when we are placed in a situation where the schools can no longer provide a safe and healthy environment, we have no other choice than to consider remote construction. I'm hoping everyone who is now out for COVID-related symptoms and those who have tested positive for COVID will be able to recover in time for our reopening. However, due to the uncertainty of this virus, there's always a possibility of us returning to full remote status. That is not something we would like to entertain, but circumstances put us in that situation where we may not have a choice. As of today, New Jersey is one of the highest positivity rate states in the country. Our rates are higher now than they were in January during the peak of the pandemic. I'm asking everyone to please continue to follow the safety protocols and keep yourselves safe. We also put a announcement out for free breakfast and lunch. We have a responsibility, as our plan indicated, to feed our students over the time that we're in full remote. Our schedule is that tomorrow, those parents who have children in the Winslow Township School District may pick up free breakfast and lunch meals at Winslow Township High School and Winslow Township School number 3 from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at school number 3 only. The following week, which is January, on Tuesday, January 11th and Thursday, January the 13th, as our plan indicated, we'll do 2 days per week. On Tuesday, January 11th and Thursday, January 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at both the high school and school number 3 for those parents who are at work and still have an opportunity to pick up meals and during the evening hours. However, due to the shortage of staff, because every department in the district has been affected, we will not be able to make home deliveries. All right. I do have some information for the school district as well as for the community. Free COVID vaccines and boosters will be available at the Cherry Hill Mall on the 2nd floor near Nordstrom's the 2nd week of each month. So January's, it will be January the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th. Friday the 14th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday the 15th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday the 16th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Those vaccines and boosters are available to everyone, including the general public. There is some difficulty of people getting COVID testing. So at this time, free COVID testing is open to the general public at Camden County College, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. If you can recall, any questions? I'm sorry. Okay. If you can recall, last year, we had a conversation about insurance for Chromebooks. We have done our research and We believe that it's a situation based on cost, we'll have to go out for bid, but we're looking at acquiring insurance costing each parent either $30 to $40 per Chromebook, but that is optional. And if they don't want to take up the insurance to cover the Chromebooks, then in the event of any damages or whatever, then they can pay whatever those costs are. But I want you to know we are moving forward with that. I'm in conversation with Dr. Carcamo and Mrs. Boyle, and based on the costs we've been able to discover through our research, it is something that will have to go out for bid, so we will move forward with that. Quarantine requirements. Quarantine requirements are still the same. I know there was some changes announced from the from the CDC, and it started some confusion about a 5-day quarantine and all the different kinds of things. But I want you to know that those guidelines for the 5-day quarantine have not been adopted by the New Jersey Department of Health, and it has not been adopted for schools through the New Jersey Department of Health, not necessarily general public. So at this point, we are still going to maintain the quarantine guidelines that we already have in place. If you test positive, you still have to quarantine for 10 days. If you are a close contact, 10 days or 7 days with a negative COVID test result collected at 5 to 7 days, you can return on the 8th day. So right now, those are the quarantine guidelines that are in the district. Those are the ones that will be in place until we hear from the Camden County Department of Health. They pretty much told us, just wait and see. And as soon as there's a change made, then we will make those changes accordingly. At our last school board meeting, I indicated that the state of the fall state assessment results, of course, you know, we took the Start Strong assessment this fall. The students will be receiving their copies mid-January, and I am responsible and required to do a district presentation on the overall assessment of the district, and that will be our first board meeting in February, which is February the 9th. This test pretty much do not replace the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment, which is scheduled for this spring, but it is to give us some type of benchmark as to the skill set of our young people as they are right now coming in from last school year when we were primarily full remote for most of the school year. That concludes my announcements. If there are any questions at this time, I'll be more than happy to address them.
Dr. Poteet, I'm not sure. My hearing is kind of bad sometimes. So did you say that the meals were going to be given out tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow is, no, is today Wednesday?
Yeah, I thought they were today. That's why I asked.
It is today. I'm sorry. It's been a busy week, Ms. Moore, and I'm glad you clarified that. The meals were given out today. Today is Wednesday. I appreciate it. Thank you. The meals were given out today.
Okay.
But we will pick up next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Each of the families who participated today received enough meals to hold them over the weekend and until Monday. So Tuesday and Thursday of next week, they will be right on track for those meal pickups. Thank you, Mrs. Moore. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any other comments?
No, Madam President, I'm just asking for some clarification. In keeping with past practices, when a board member is no longer a member of the board, usually there's some type of recognition, a plaque. Will that occur for Mrs. McClendon, and when?
Dr. Poteet, can we establish exactly when? Because usually it's given during a regular, it's usually given either the first or second meeting in January. With regards to the plaque, we bring that member back. Appreciation.
Yeah, Mrs. Pitts, let me just remind the board that that is not something that the school district handles anymore. It's been maybe 3-4 years ago since we've done that. Whenever we've done it from that point on, the board members took up a collection of monies to purchase that plaque, the school district can no longer purchase those plaques. And we've stopped that process about 3-4 years ago. Mrs. Boyle, am I correct in, I know I'm correct in we not being able to purchase them, but I'm thinking it's been at least 3-4 years since we last done something like that?
Off the top of my head, Dr. Poteet, I would not be able to tell you. When was the last time? I'm sorry.
Right, that's okay, but I know it's been a while. But again, the process can continue if the board is going to, you know, take a collection and pay for it.
Madam President, we still have some small amount within our sunshine contributions. How much was the plaque? That would be something that we would have to find out, but there is some funding still left in that account that each board member has given over the years.
Mm-hmm. So therefore, board members, what do you think would it be the proper use of the funds if we first check with Ms. Boyle to find out how much that plaque would cost, and then take a look at our Sunshine Fund to see if indeed we can cover that. The Sunshine Fund is something that we will also mention. It's not anything mandatory. It's just something that is a past practice that the board had incorporated for such kinds of things as deaths and families. And the Sunshine Club was created, Ms. Peterson, about 7-8 years ago. Was it that long?
10 years ago.
Oh, okay, 10 years ago. And for board members, current board members, it was simply a situation where we asked each board member to contribute $50 towards that fund. So, and with the understanding that the fund would not increase beyond the $400 mark. And so, as you can see, and we've been doing it for 10 years, and there's still some funds in the Sunshine Club. So my suggestion, board members, is that we have Ms. Boyle do a pricing for us for the plaque. And then once we get that information, then she can bring it back to us and we can make the decision as to exactly how we will go forward. Does anyone have any questions about the way in which we would proceed?
I have a question because I've never been told how to contribute to that. So
you're absolutely right. You have not. If you can recall, Ms. Moore, you came on in 2021. And 21 was the most unusual year for all board members across the entire state. And so the Sunshine Club was the least of information that we wanted to go through. So now that things are almost normalizing, then we can remind board members. And again, Ms. Moore, it is not mandatory. It is completely voluntary.
okay. No,
Okay.
I mean, I'll contribute. I just need to know the information about who to give it to and all.
Okay.
Like so maybe somebody can send out an email to all of us so we know what to do.
Ms. Peterson, Ms. Dredden are the ones who oversee that account. So Ms. Peterson would be more than happy to send an email out to everyone to let them know exactly how we can proceed and who they would send or give the money to. Okay?
Well, yeah.
Mrs. Pitts, just for clarification, I just wanted to state that school district funds can no longer be used for the purchase of those kinds of activities. So I just wanted to make sure that's why I interjected, because we used to do that,
Yes.
but we were eventually told that school district funds cannot be used for that purpose.
Okay. Everyone understand? Ms. Moore, Ms. Nieves, Ms. Thomas, I only point the three of you out because you're the three newest ones on the board.
Yes.
Okay, clear? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Peterson.
Thank you.
Any further informational items? Can we?
I have a question for Dr. Poteet. Just for clarification, if a student or staff member was exposed to COVID and took the vaccine and got the booster shots, do they still need to be quarantined?
If they're close contact, no.
Okay.
Only if they are showing symptoms. But if you are fully vaccinated and you're considered a close contact, you do not have to quarantine.
with no symptoms. But if you have
But
symptoms, you have
If
to say,
you
oh,
have symptoms, then we're looking at the 10-day quarantine with the option of presenting a negative test within that 5 to 7 days. And if you get a negative test, then you can return on that 8th day. But if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to quarantine. But if you are, because there are some people who are fully vaccinated who are in fact testing positive. But if you test positive, even if you're vaccinated, you have to quarantine for 10 days.
thank you. And then these are more questions, but
Okay, go for it.
I got a text from my child's teacher about wearing uniform shirts,
Yes,
not
sir.
getting credit if their camera is not on. Let me see.
Okay.
And all that kind of stuff. Can you just kind of talk about that?
Sure. And I want you to know that it was a directive that came from me. And let me tell you why. As I stated earlier, I'm going to be doing the overall test scores for the school district in February. And I also want you to know that I don't want you to be surprised because they are not very good. These test scores are a reflection of where our children are after being in virtual instruction for almost an entire year. Some of them were an entire year. What I have found is that I believe that our children have more potential than those scores reflected. But I also was reminded that all the issues that we had last year when our teachers were trying to perform their duties. We had high absenteeism. We had young people who were not logging in. We had young people who would not identify themselves wearing hoods. We had young people logging in from their beds, young ladies wearing nighties. Teachers were fighting to get our young people to even cooperate and to participate. I think our test scores will be a reflection of that. I also wanted to make sure that our parents and students understand, Mr. Blake, that these 2 weeks are not an extension of our Christmas or winter break. These young people are still in school and they need to take education seriously. I don't think that our young people, for the most part, took the virtual learning very seriously. So I am thinking not necessarily as much the shirt, and we only talk about the shirt, but the mindset that they are still in school, that the young people should be awakened and prepared for school every day, that it should be taken seriously. And I was hoping that the parents would partner with us and say that education is important because children are only going to take this situation as seriously as is made at home from the parents, and that we collectively put them in the mindset that you're still in school and that you should be preparing for school and that you should be doing the things that's necessary for you to be successful. Now, when I give those test scores out next month, I don't want anyone, oh my God, oh, how poor, because I don't believe that they took the virtual instruction seriously. I am saying that I want us as a school district and our young people for 2 weeks, please take this very seriously. And the shirt, again, as I said, Mr. Blake, is nothing more than putting the young people in the mindset that we need to get up, we need to prepare ourselves just like it is for school, and to give our very best. Just the consistency. If they were in school every day, they would have on the shirt. And even if they want to wear the same shirt every day, we only want them to know that based on their appearance and their preparation and their expectation is still the same by that classroom teacher, whether they're at home or whether they're in school. And that was the mindset of it, Mr. Blake, because I think we need to start somewhere. In my conversation with Dr. Carcamo and our administrators, I wanted them to know that our children didn't take this very seriously, and the scores reflected. So I'm hoping that while they're home for 2 weeks, that they are preparing themselves mentally, psychologically to learn so that we can catch up as much as we possibly can. This is not a time off. This is not a break. This is about education. So that was the mindset and the objective for that particular directive from me.
Okay, I fully understand. I get it, though. I guess my question is more so the consequences. If students do not comply, that was like my whole thing, because I was nervous about the shirts. I was like, oh my God.
But your children do have a shirt, right, Mr. Blake?
Yeah, they do. But I'm saying, like, you know, some people, you know how it go.
Yeah, but
So,
but here's the thing, Mr. Blake. First of all, when I thought about it, I thought I wasn't asking too much. Secondly, you already have them there. You don't have to worry about what you're going to put on every day. And the expectations. I told the principals I want the teachers to hold these young people accountable. Make sure they're doing the things the same way you would hold them accountable at school. I want the same accountability at home. I know they're at home and we're not trying to invade their privacy, but they are in school, even though they're at home. So I don't want us to start back and forth, because see, if we don't take the remote instruction seriously, then why do we expect our children to take it seriously? I want the teachers, we're the same. There's no difference. I want the teachers to prepare the same way they prepare for in-person. I want them to prepare the same way they do for virtual instruction. Same thing. So the consistency is there. We're not backing away. I don't want our young people to think, well, this isn't important, because I think the scores don't reflect the ability of our children. And when I share it with you, you will see. And as a matter of fact, you may have the same response I had. It's unacceptable. It is totally unacceptable. And we got a lot of work ahead of us, Mr. Blake. So I'm asking the parents, please partner with us. Please ask your child and make sure they understand that this is important. This is serious information. This is serious, that they get up, prepare themselves mentally every day for school. That's all. Take it serious. It's not time off, and the teachers got to beg them to turn your computer on so we can see you, take your hood off, stop doing this, running around playing with animals when they're supposed to be paying attention, people logging in from their beds, people dressing appropriately, and all that took away from our instruction, the commitment, the seriousness, the value of an education. And if you could see the things our teachers saw, anyway, you're a teacher, Mr. Blake, you may have seen some of these kinds of things. To see these things every day was very disheartening for our teachers. And the work that they put in preparation for these lessons, I think should be taken very seriously. And I'm asking our parents, please tell your children that this is serious. You need to know that you're not home on vacation. You need to get up, get yourself ready for school, put your shirt on, and be ready for class, just like you would if you were in the classroom for face-to-face instruction. And Mr. Blake, seriously, and I'm going to conclude with this. I really didn't think I was asking that much. Based on where I have seen what we've gotten from our teachers and the test results that we have, we don't have time to be playing around this year. We don't have time to be fooling around with things that's a distraction. We need to get serious about educating these children, because they're only going to get one chance for us to educate them, and we may not get a second chance. And right now, I just want you, the members of the board and the community, to know I'm very disappointed with the outcomes. Very disappointed.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Poteet.
Dr. Poteet, if I may, I'm sorry.
Ms. Nieves?
And again, forgive my ignorance. Can you guys hear my sound better?
Yes.
Okay. So my concern with having the shirts brought in now is that in our initial virtual instruction policy, they weren't required to wear their uniform shirts. I know we did have it in the policy for when they were quarantining. So
Right.
if it's a change in policy, is that something that the board is supposed to vote on?
No.
Or
No, it's never been a policy thing, Mrs. Nieves. It was primarily my recommendation to the principals to establish that. That isn't something that the board had to vote on or anything like that. The board already made it very that we are in uniforms this year. That has never changed. So since we're already in uniforms, my asking the young people to wear their uniforms during this quarantine time, during this remote instruction time is just a consistency from where we are now into the home itself, so that we can not only maintain the consistency, but raise the level of interest and raise the level of importance, that there's no difference because you're at home as opposed to being in school. That's all it was.
Okay, I mean, I can understand your point as to taking it seriously. And as my daughter spent 15 months doing, remote instruction, there was a lot of stuffed animal playing and things of that nature.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure that I would agree that putting on a uniform shirt would kind of deal with that. I think we really need to reach out to the parents and get them to, monitor their children a little better, obviously. My concern with having them required to wear the uniform would just be another added stress and already getting the children to cooperate, as all.
And Mrs. Neves, I agree with you 100%, but I was thinking that it wouldn't be an added stress because it's what we've always did. I mean, we do it now. And if they were in school, they would have a shirt on anyway. So I'm thinking it's an easy thing. You don't even have to think about what you have to wear tomorrow, because there's your shirt. Just put your shirt on and you're ready for school. And I didn't look at it as being a distraction or anything of that sort. It's just a matter of consistency. And again, the mindset that I need to prepare for school because there are things I need to do in order for me to learn. That's all it was. Just pretty much a simple request, and hopefully that the parents would support it. It was never a situation where we wanted to put them in a situation where we are overstepping our bounds, asking them to do something beyond what we can require of them. And I'm thinking, well, the shirts are already there. You already have them in place. You would do it anyway. So I just didn't think it was asking too much.
Okay. All right. Miss Peterson, before we go on to looking at public comment, I just need some clarification with regards to what you shared with the board with regards to the mid-year session with Dr. Poteet on the goals. What date was that again?
That was the fourth Wednesday, which is February the 23rd.
Okay, that's in February.
Yes.
February 23rd.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I would like to also ask the board members to go on New Jersey School Board Association. There has been a couple of changes, and some look like it could have been comments that were made by our district to streamline the process. So if you can take a look at it.
Okay. All right, board members. Okay. So are we okay to move forward? I'm on page 6, public comments. The Winslow Township Board of Education highly values the input of citizens in making important decisions that affect the children of our community. We also believe in the rights of citizens to observe our board meetings, to ensure that all citizens have the opportunity to observe our board meetings and when we're in person to attend and offer comment, and to ensure that the board can conduct the important business of the district. We ask that speakers or callers follow these guidelines for making public comments. The board president or board secretary will recognize those individuals who wish to make comment. Please respect these following procedures. Number 1, all members of the public attending school board meetings must treat each other and the board with respect. Number 2, please state your full name and address. Number 3, please limit your comments to 4 minutes. Number 4, please submit any additional questions that you may not get answered immediately to the Board of Education with your name, address, and telephone number where you can be contacted. Your questions will be answered within a reasonable amount of time. And number 5, individuals offering citizen comment are not permitted to make personal attacks on any district employee, board member, other testifier, or member of the public. At this time, I'm asking for a motion to move into public comment.
Motion Shaw.
Peterson, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Ms. Peterson to move into public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Ms. Boyle? Ms. Boyle?
Yes, Ms. Pitts, I don't see anybody in the room. I just sent an email to text. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if I can get here. Okay, Madam President, it looks like 3 participants are waiting in the lobby. So if we can hold on 1 second, I'm gonna try to
Okay.
get a hold of text because I don't have the same layout here. I'm gonna mute myself.
Kelly E. Thomas. Hello?
I gave a lovely speech. Unfortunately, I was muted. Welcome caller to the Winslow Township Board of Education public comment section of the board meeting. If you would please give your name and spell your name, give us your address, and then you can make your comments to the board.
Good evening, everyone. This is Stephanie Simmons, 7 Waltham Way, Sicklerville, New Jersey. I was just calling in to congratulate Ms. Nieves on her appointment to the board tonight. And I also would like to say that on behalf of the proud parents of Winslow Township, we will be glad to sponsor the plaque for Ms. Sabina McClendon.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Simmons.
No problem. You guys know how to reach me. Just let me know how much it costs.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night, Ms.
Good night.
Simmons. Okay. Good evening, caller. You have joined the Winslow Township Board of Education board meeting, public comment section. If you would please state and spell your last name, and then you give us your address, and then you can make your comments to the board.
Good evening. My name is Tina Marshall, Marshall, 9 Celia Street in Sicklerville.
Yes, Ms. Marshall?
First, I want to congratulate Ms. Nieves on joining the board, and we look forward to all that she has to contribute. I'd also like to kind of follow up on what Dr. Poteet just said about uniform, tops, quarantine, COVID, virtual learning. My daughter right now is actually COVID positive, so she is quarantining in another room, unable to actually do school at this time because of how sick she is. I find it very difficult to demand and punish children who may not have the support at home, whether it's single working parents, siblings, to worry about a shirt. I agree that there is a disconnect when you are doing virtual learning, but you also have to understand and take into the respect that there are families that are trying to maneuver this. This happened overnight. Nobody knew that COVID was going to go through the roof the way that it did. And I find it reprehensible that a kindergartner would be kicked off of a meet and not considered to be in school if they did not have a uniform shirt on. It is not in any of the policies. It's not written anywhere, and it was thrown in on a phone call. And there's got to be more that we can do as a district. Our numbers have absolutely nothing to do with the color of someone's shirt. It has to do with the way that it is being pushed out there. There's no follow-up. It's like we're throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. There was no plan. There was no anything. And this district owes us as parents and owes our children a lot more than what they are getting. And Dr. Poti, it's not very nice to shake your head when someone is speaking, especially a parent in this district. And this is why a lot of parents don't speak up, because of the way that we are treated. And this board needs to do something about that. We have kids choicing out every single day. This is not good. It's not good for our property taxes. It's not good for our schools. We have people that are asking about moving to Winslow Township, and they are being told not to because the schools suck. We need to do something about that.
And ma'am, I have to interject. I can deal with reprehensible. I can't deal with the last word. Please try to control yourself.
I'm sorry, what last word?
Policy that we are to conduct ourselves professionally and in a calm demeanor. So I'm going to ask you to adhere to that policy, and please continue. Sorry for interrupting you.
I guess I'm not understanding what I did wrong, Mr. Long.
You said the word S-U-C-K. You really shouldn't be saying that.
I apologize. I really shouldn't, but I was actually using.
Man, we're past that. You can go on.
That's fine. I was just apologizing. I just think that we as a district need to do better. We need to do better. We need to do better for our kids. We need to do better for our parents, and we need to do better for our community. And it's time that the blame stops being forced on the community and everybody starts taking responsibility. That's all I have to say. Have a great night. Oh, and I will not have my daughter on camera while she's looking sick.
Good evening, caller. You have joined the public comment section of the board meeting. If you would please state and spell your last name, and then you can give us your address, and then you can make your comment to the board.
Good evening. My name is Sonia L. Inman, and address is 27 Patricia Lane, Sicklerville.
I caught Sonia. I'm sorry, I did not catch your last name.
I-N-M-A-N, Sonia Inman.
Thank you, Ms. Enman. If you'd like to make your comment.
Yes, I just wanted to take the time to thank Dr. Poti, his staff, and the board members for the authorization to. I'm going to actually read a letter that I wrote, which again is, I want to thank Dr. Poti, his staff, and the board members for authorization to resume full remote as a result of staffing shortages that includes teachers, support staff, and bus drivers. I know we've had to quickly pivot from in-person to full remote in most part because of the infection rate and or the testing availability in the community. It has been challenging, but necessary, I feel, as a parent. I also want to inquire about the guidance and direction that has been given for the students to be in uniform. More specifically, wear a uniform shirt while in remote learning. As I understand this direction, Dr. Poti, is to be strictly enforced to include if the student does not have a uniform, that they must be dismissed from the Google Classroom and be marked absent. I think it is essential that students wear proper attire while learning remotely. This proper attire should include a shirt, must be worn, no cleavage or bare skin exposure. However, I am in disagreement with the uniform being enforced at this extent during remote learning. More importantly, I think that the students should be present, prepared, and properly clothed. I call it the 3 Ps. For example, if my son has on a red collar shirt or a Sonic character sweatshirt instead of a navy blue, white, or hunter green collar shirt during remote learning should not adversely impact his learning experience, nor should it be the focus for the teacher to enforce. Again, I understand the importance of proper attire, and I understand what your focus was, as I've summarized, but I am in disagreement with enforcing school uniforms during remote learning, and for that reason, I am hopeful that you can reconsider this guidance and direction given to building principals and teachers to enforce. And I just wanted to add, Dr. Cote, you're absolutely right about those students who aren't coming to class prepared, who aren't properly dressed, who have a lot of distractions. My concern is this being enforced to wear a school uniform has adverse impact for those youngsters or those students who are coming to school and look forward to wearing maybe their favorite shirt at home, but still coming to class prepared, ready, and available. So that was all I had to say. Thank you, and I appreciate your time. And the last thing I did want to say is I think in turn, those students who are not, and our parents who are not enforcing what they should be doing, there should be some adverse impact for those individuals and not the majority versus the minority. Thank you for your time. For those individuals and not the majority versus the minority. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, caller. If you could log out, I can bring the next caller in. Thank you. Thank you, caller. You have joined the public comment section of the Winslow Township Board of Education Board meeting. If you would please state and spell your name, give us your address, and then you can make your comments to the board.
Okay, my name is Emily Walker, W-A-L-K-E-R, and my address is 34 Cedar Hill Drive in Sicklerville.
Good evening, Ms. Walker. If you could make your comment.
Okay, I agree with the other callers. I think it's completely irrelevant whether a student needs to be in strict dress code. As stated by Dr. Poteet, we do want our students to be paying attention and to be taking school seriously, but you directly contradict that by even saying, well, it could be the same shirt, just take it off and put it on every day. That's not taking school seriously. That's just for the sheer principle of actually doing what you say as a dictator. I don't think that it is necessary for you to enforce the rule.
Ma'am, it's really inappropriate to call the superintendent a dictator. Please maintain the decorum of this discussion and keep it professional. You can disagree with somebody, but please don't name call. I just have to speak up. I don't like doing this, believe me. I believe in First Amendment and free speech more than anyone as an attorney, but please keep it cordial. You can make your point and not name call. Thank you.
Okay, didn't think that was a name. I was just saying an adjective, acting as that kind of person. I wasn't name calling, but I just think that maybe we could compromise and say that the high school students who are responsible for their own attire and are able to take care of themselves be made to be as serious as putting on their uniform every day. But for a pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade student, you're not asking the student to take it seriously. You're asking their parent to add something else to their schedule for that day. And to your point of saying, well, normally you would be doing that anyway, but normally we would also not be juggling 6 Google Meets and trying to log into 3 computers at the same time and work from home by ourselves and take care of the kids and feed them and keep them in their seats. And we're not doing that every single day when we're sending them to school in a uniform. And I would ask that you would show some grace to these parents that are going through things. Per your own numbers, you can see how high the numbers of COVID are in the school staff. Just imagine how it is in the community. We're dealing with sick family members. We're dealing with quarantine in our own household or out of our household. To add something, it just feels like it's very petulant, considering that there was a vote that was just lost about the uniform. So I just wanted to voice my opinion about that. I know that the board superintendent evaluation is coming up, and I hope that you can hold him accountable for the actions.
Thank you, Colin. Ms. Boyle,
Yes.
any other in queue?
Yes, ma'am. 2 others in queue currently.
Okay.
Here we go. Good evening, caller. You have joined the public comment section of the Winslow Township Board of Education Board meeting. If you would please state and spell your name and then give us your address, and then you can make your comment to the board.
Cindy Skurnick, Skurnik, 50 Brearley Drive, Sicklerville, New Jersey.
Thank you, Ms. Skurnick.
I have 2 comments. One on what everybody's been saying with the uniforms. I understand that our numbers in the testing center in the test last year were poor, and Dr. Petit is disappointed with that. I don't understand how kicking a child off of Google Meets that actually showed up and dismissing them from class because they're not wearing the right shirt will help those numbers at all. But my other comment that I called in for was for the before and after care program, being that school is closed, I didn't know what the policy was, if there's a reimbursement, because February's payment is due before the schools reopen. So I couldn't figure out, obviously we've never been through a situation where schools have shut down for a pandemic in the middle, or at least I wasn't involved with before and after care. So I'm not sure what the policy is with the payment, if there's any sort of reimbursement to help the families that pay for before and after care and now maybe paying for sitters and that sort of thing. And those are my 2 comments.
As far as the before and after care payment, I will speak with Dr. Mills, who oversees that program tomorrow, and ask him to work out something with the individual parents as it pertains to you receiving some type of refund for those services that were not rendered for the days that you're not using the service. So I'll speak with Dr. Mills tomorrow and have him to reach out to the parents.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's see if I can. Good evening, caller. You have joined the public comment section of the Winslow Township Board of Education board meeting. If you would please state and spell your name, give us your address, and then you can make your comment to the board.
Thank you. My name is Debbie Scullin, Scullin, Winslow Township. Thank you, everybody on the board, for your time. However, I think we need to enable our teachers, enable our students, and make sure education is first. We still seem to sit on the same hot topic of uniforms. I agree. We need to be like appropriate or however it may be, but we're sitting on a hot topic. People are scrambling on social media, which they shouldn't be. They should get clear instructions. They shouldn't have to worry about contacting a principal to find out what their discretion is. But everyone gets a different response. I personally have reached out. I have emailed. I don't get the responses. I apologize for my tone, but it's getting quite ridiculous. education first, enable our teachers, enable our students. Let's focus on just the attire, just the colors, just let's enable our education. Plain and simple. Am I being heard, or did I get cut off?
Yes, you're being heard.
Okay. Is there any response?
Dr. Poteet will respond.
Thank you.
I have no response at all at this point. This is an opportunity for me to listen to the concerns of the parents. I think all of you who have called in the past few minutes have pretty much said the same thing. So I am listening to what your concerns are.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just want to make sure we back our teachers, we thank our teachers, we appreciate our students, we work on their education, we put that first, we make sure that information gets out first. Nobody should have to go to social media to get the information on how to get logged into their computers, where to get the computers, the times. Yes, this is being provided, but it's not being provided consistently. We are still having the same issue. Uniforms, hot topics, or whatever, it is not district-wide. We are not given a clear, concise information. Everyone does scramble. The teachers have scrambled. Everyone is trying their best. We are given excuses. We are given deflection. We need to be clear as a district. Education first and support our teachers and students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller. If you would log off, I can admit the next caller.
Yes, ma'am. Have a great night.
You too. Welcome, caller. You have joined the public comment section of the Winslow Township Board of Education board meeting. If you would please give and spell your name, give us your address, and then you can make your comment to the board.
Good evening. My name is LaShawn McMichael. It's spelled L-A, capital S, HAWN-MCMICHAEL. I live at 119 Colton Neck Drive in Sicklerville.
Yes, Ms. Michael, you can make your comment.
And it's McMichael.
McMichael.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to ask about the notification of family members when a child has tested positive. I've heard conflicting information from different people, and I was told recently that only children who are not vaccinated are being either notified and sent home. And I just wanted to know the logic behind that.
If you're referring to children who are identified as close contact, or is that what you? Okay, yeah, the children who are identified as a close contact, their parents are notified the same day that that process takes place. If you're asking whether or not we identify and notify the entire school, no, that doesn't happen. Only those children who may have been affected as a close contact, those are the parents who are contacted.
No, and by no means would I expect you to notify the entire school. What I'm asking is that because I was told that only children who are not vaccinated that are close contact are being notified.
No, that should not be the case. Every child who's considered a close contact, their parent should be notified. The only difference is if you are fully vaccinated, those children don't have to quarantine. But if you are close contact, all those children's parents should be contacted. So at least you know that the child was considered a close contact, because even though he or she may be vaccinated, there's still a possibility a day or two later they may show symptoms. So that's why everybody who's a close contact should be notified.
Dr. Poteet, that really is not the case. I'm finding that, you know, I'm hearing something different from every person that I know is that has, you know, contracted COVID, and certain situations where kids are out of school for 7 days. And if you don't have symptoms and you have a family member that has had COVID, you're still allowed to come back to school. Is there anywhere where these policies are housed, where our regulations are housed, where I can look at it? Because it just doesn't make sense to me, because you hear something different from each nurse at each school.
Well, I'm not sure which schools, because I think at some point we would have to narrow it down to say, for example, if you're talking about school A and B, then I would have to address that issue to find out why, because the information I gave you, that's the way it should be administered. It's not a situation where.
Be clear.
Yes.
So let me just be clear. So what you're saying, sir, is that any child that is close contact, whether they're vaccinated or not, should be notified.
Yes, the parents of that child should be notified, because, as I stated earlier, just because you are vaccinated does not necessarily mean that at some point you may show symptoms. So that's why, as a parent, you need to know that your child, even though he or she is fully vaccinated, may show symptoms, so that you can take the appropriate steps to address it. So I'm not sure what has happened in reference to the notification, but that's what should be happening, and every school should be doing the same thing.
Okay, and I don't think that that's the case. But again, what I had asked too is that, and when I know something specific, because my daughter was not, you know, a close contact. This is just really hearsay on my end from what I've heard from other people. But I just wanted some clarification as far as that's concerned. But this information, as far as the regulations are concerned, this is something that the nurses have privy to. Can the parents, or can the parents look this information? Is this on the website, or can I find this information anywhere?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's on our website, the Road Back. It's on the Camden County Department of Health, the New Jersey Department of Health website. We're following the same guidelines that have been
everywhere. Okay.
Yes, that's been given to us through the New Jersey Department of Health. So based on what I hear you saying, and if you're saying you can't be specific, that is pretty much you're hearing it from others, then we'll just revisit it as a school district to make sure that everyone's on the same page. But there was never a directive, because I am the person who submit information directly to the building principals. We also have a person designated to us from the Camden County Health Department. And if we have any questions, we can call directly to that health department person, and that person will give us the specific guidelines or clarify any questions we may have. And that is consistent, not just for our district, but across the board for all districts in the state of New Jersey. But if that is an issue, that's unbeknown to me, but if that is an issue, then I think it's just a matter of revisiting it with all of our nurses at all of our schools, because all close contacts, parents should be informed, so that they can also do the monitoring that is required. Even though their child doesn't have to quarantine, you still want to keep an eye on them, because even if a person is a close contact, unvaccinated or vaccinated, you can still become infected, you know, after a couple of days when those symptoms start to, you know, show itself. So we'll revisit it as a district.
Please, sir, I really wish you would, because I think that people are receiving conflicting information from the nurses. And I'm a registered nurse, and it baffled me when someone told me that the nurse said that they were only notifying children that were unvaccinated. So that concerned me very much so.
Okay. Thank you, Ms.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right.
Madam President, the waiting room is empty. So there's nobody else waiting to make a comment.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Boyle. At this time, board members, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve adjourning our public comment portion.
Motion to adjourn public comment. Martin.
Motion by Ms. Martin, second.
Second by Ms. Peterson.
Second by Ms. Peterson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I'm pretty sure, Mr. Long, that there is no executive session this evening.
That's correct. I
Okay.
believe, unless I'm going to be corrected by staff, which is quite all right. I don't believe there is any, correct, Dr. Poteet?
There's no executive session, Mr. Long.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Poteet. And before we adjourn, earlier as we began this meeting, Ms. Peterson and I both had a chance to make a statement to board members and also to the community. And I'd like to just take a few minutes in the event that the other board members would like to make a statement as we begin this new year of 2022. And I'll just go through a roll call. I'll start with Mr. Blake. Mr. Blake, any comments you would like to make? Keep them for about 2 minutes.
I'm going to be super brief. Happy New Year and looking forward to working with all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blake.
Good day in Winslow, Mr. Blake.
What?
Good day in Winslow.
It's a great day in Winslow.
Mr. Any comments?
I just want to tell all the nominated people, the new Miss Neve and also Miss Peterson and also Miss Pitts, congratulations. And we're looking forward to a 2022, a good year.
Thank you, Mr. Ms. Martin.
Happy New Year to all and congratulations to our newly elected board members. And community, look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Ms. Moore?
Happy New Year. I congratulate all, especially my buddy, Ms. Nieves. And I'm looking forward to a good year, making sure that our students have what they need. So, keeping education in the forefront.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Ms. Nieves? Ms.
Yes,
Nieves,
I
I'm
would
just going to pause because I'm hearing your name pronounced several different ways. And it is pronounced Nieves?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
If you break it up, sometimes it's a little easier. You go Nieves and then Nieves. It'll go together. It'll take a little bit. That's all. But I usually answer to anything because I'm used to it. But yeah, no. Just want to say Happy New Year. Thank you to my fellow board members for your congratulations. Thank you to the community members who have reached out and congratulated me as well. I appreciate you guys so much. Looking forward to working with the community. And like I've said before, literacy and parent involvement are my pet projects, and that's what I continue to strive to work for with my tenure on the board.
Thank you, Ms. Nieves. Ms. Peterson?
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. I continue to want to make certain that Winslow Township is one of the premier places of learning for our pre-K through 12. So I will do my due diligence to make certain that all students within our district have equal opportunities for advancement of their academics and also to meet the standards of other districts and other states. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Mr. Shaw?
Happy New Year to everybody in Winslow. Congratulations to our newly elected board member, Ms. Nieves, and our re-elected board members, Ms. Thomas and Mrs. Pitts. And congratulations on being re-elected President and Vice President, Mrs. Pitts and Mrs. Peterson.
Thank you.
To everybody in Winslow, our parents, teachers, staff, administrators, this is going to be another trying year with COVID. We all got to work together. We all got to be patient and understanding. We all know that it's going to be one wild ride. So if there's anything we can do, whatever it is, email, whatever, I don't care if you call me, text me, whatever we can do, I'll try to get you the answers. I'll be Dr. Poteet's best friend. I know he loves me. But whatever it takes, we're here for you. And, I know sometimes you don't, you get, upset with Dr. Poteet. And if I have to be a mediator to help you out, I will. Because, like I said, I'll, I'm here to help you out, and whatever it takes, I'll get you your answers, and I'll talk to Dr. Poteet for you, and we'll just make sure that we can be whatever we need to be during these trying times, because COVID's not going anywhere. And I just heard there's a new variant in France. So we all got to work together. We all got to be helpful. We all got to make sure we do what's best for our students of Winslow, from pre-K to high school. We got to make sure our students succeed straight through graduation, because there's nothing better than watching those kids graduate through those doors of that high school. So Winslow pride, Winslow rocks. Let's go Winslow.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Board members, even though we know that Dr. Poteet is a non-voting member of the board, I think we should just hear a few closing remarks from Dr. Poteet.
Ms. Pitts?
Did someone say something?
Can you hear me? Am I muted?
You missed Miss Thomas.
Hey,
Oh,
Ms.
I'm
Thomas
sorry,
didn't
Miss
say
Thomas.
anything.
I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to
Sorry,
say.
Miss Thomas. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Thomas.
Congratulations to Ms. Nieves for becoming a new board member. This is a very interesting experience, so you'll find out. I look forward to continuing to learn from the board and the community, and to contribute my knowledge working with the youth.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you.
And before we close, Dr. Poteet, any closing remarks?
Oh, yes, Mrs. Pitts. I just want to say that we will continue to do our very best to provide the best education for our students and our staff, and do the things that are necessary so that everyone is successful. Our primary objective at this point is to keep everybody as safe as possible. We are doing everything we can to make sure that we educate our young people in the most difficult times in the history of this country. It has not been easy for any of us. I understand the concerns from the parents. I hear you. I understand that things are happening quickly. And I also want the parents to know that there's a possibility we may find ourselves in this situation again. So we need to plan together, work together, because our children are listening and they're watching us. And the only way they are going to be successful is that they see us working together. So we will continue to do our very best and to make sure that we're all on the same page in the best interest of our children for the remainder of this school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Poteet. And so therefore, in closing, board members, community, we're all in this together. We are all in this together. And so, as has been said by many of the other board members, we are here to do the best for our children. We're here to foster their potential, their growth, and their achievements, but we cannot do it without the parents. And again, we are really all in this together. And again, congratulations to Ms. Nieves. Ms. Nieves, you may hear us refer to you as newbie. It is not an insult. It's a term of endearment, because believe me, we have all been newbies at one time. And so hoping that this is a great experience for you and also Ms. Thomas. And again, remember that we are here as a board. We move forward as a board. It's, as the Three Musketeers say, all for one and one for all. So Happy New Year, everyone. And thank you, Mr. Long. We won't forget Mr. Long. He is our person that keeps us legal and keeps us safe when walking on the right side of the road here. And,
you're welcome. My pleasure. It's easy to do, except when it comes to Mr. Shaw and his rooting interest Cowboys.
Well, I'll need you Saturday night then. I'll be at the game Saturday night.
Oh, lucky you. Great, Mr. Shaw. Okay, so that concludes it, folks. This is the end of reorg meeting 2022. I'm asking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Shaw, is there a second?
Second, Ms. Martin.
Second by Ms. Martin. I'm going to have to take a voice vote. All in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Any opposition? No. This meeting is adjourned. Good night,
Have a
everyone.
good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
One.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.